Welcome back to the social universe, where you learn the secrets of the social media through the social universe, and in many cases, the secrets of the universe itself. One of the secrets that we're talking about today is something, this is my term, and so I don't want you to blame anybody else for this term, but it's called magic, okay? And what I talk about magic here is magic in life, magic in the relationships that you have, magic in the way you feel. It's that the kind of the spring in your step, the things in life that make it truly enjoyable. Those few moments where if you added up those moments in life where you have had those magical moments, and then you could make a kind of a little snapshot movie of your life. That's what I'm talking about magic. The more of those magic moments that you have, the better your life is, in my opinion. And I've explained this to my wife that, sometimes you get into the drudgery of life and, getting the kids here and there to the Phoenix Boys Choir, and that, it's just so hard. There's 21 Phoenix Boys choir concerts coming up in the next month, and it's just going to be chauffeur, and it's just really tough. But the point is that there's those moments of magic created a lot by music, by culture, by religious experience, whatever it might be. And so I'm not talking about druid magic, so to speak, even though we are going to talk about that in just a moment, so stick with us. But I call magic essentially what I would also refer to as the romance of life. And one of the most amazing ways that I can think of to introduce that magic into your life, if you feel like your life's gone a little bit flat and you just want to go back to somewhere that's going to re-enliven your life and give some magic, the best place I can think of in Phoenix is to go to the Irish Cultural Center, and that's where that is referring to the more formal, real definition of magic. So if you go into the folklore, talk about that magic, you can actually pull that into your own life. And so I kind of set the stage because at the Irish Cultural Center, there's a lot of people don't realize that Christmas time is actually a real smorgasbord, speaking of another European word, of not just Christianity, but a lot of different religions. That the fir tree was definitely not brought about by Christianity. It was something that was adopted by Christianity and brought in. So there's a lot of culture that was brought into the Christmas season that we don't really realize. In fact, trick-or-treating had to be pulled out of the Christmas time and brought into Halloween, because all that here we go wassailing was pretty much trick-or-treating, right?
The ancient Celtic holiday of Samhain.
Yes, there we go. So tell us a little bit about that. And you on the 21st you have the winter solstice event. Tell us about that and what that would be like.
Well, basically, the ancient Celts, pre-Christian Ireland, would celebrate the shortest day of the year because now the days were going to get longer. And because they were primarily a farming community, the length of the days were real important to them.
Absolutely.
And in Newgrange, in County Meath, in the late 1940s, they unearthed a few of the ancient burial plots that the ancient Celts had built.
Okay.
That predate the pyramids and predate Stonehenge.
Really?
And the three in County Meath are Newgrange, Knowth, and Douth. And Newgrange is the best preserved. You can actually walk to the center of the burial chamber. And on the winter solstice every day, the light, for a certain period of time during that day, lights up the center chamber.
After all these years, that's
After
so
all
amazing.
these years. And so we do a celebration every year, and Sean Pryor, who is one of our founders, and he is from County Cavan, he basically puts together the solstice presentation. And we also have a Druid group in the valley, the Grove of the Rising Phoenix, and they participate in the solstice every year and do one of their rituals of what they would have felt that their ancestors would have done to celebrate the fact that the days were now going to get longer.
Sure.
And so this year We're going to have the Grove as well, doing one of their rituals.
Okay.
We're also going to have beef stew for sale.
Okay.
We're going to have Irish music with our Academy Band, which is made up of a group of our students
Okay.
that our Academy Director, Pat McCrossan, put together to form a band.
Great.
And it's just going to be a great night. We're going to have cider and hot chocolate and naturally liquid libation of other types as well.
Gotta have some fun.
Well, something's got to warm you up.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just going to be a great night. And it will basically start at sunset.
Okay.
And Sean has some interesting things planned for this year that I'm not quite sure what he's doing. But it's always a great event. And it's kind of our big annual winter event.
Right.
Because basically this is what our ancestors in pre-Christian Ireland would have done. The idea of celebrating the fact the days were now going to get longer.
That's amazing. We're definitely, my wife and I are going to come and have a great time.
What day is it?
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's on December 21st. Is that correct?
Saturday, December 21st.
Mm-hmm.
And you can call and make reservations if you're wanting to eat.
Uh-huh.
We prefer people do that just so we know we have enough food.
Sure.
But you can walk in. Admission is going to be $5, and you can just come in and view the festivities and just have a great time.
That's great. And so if you do want to call and make a reservation, call 602.
258-0109.
Very good. And also, I'm sure there will be other events coming up. And so if you want to stay on top of that, go to the website at
www.azirish.org.
And you're also on Facebook, correct?
We do have a Facebook page.
So if you type in Irish Cultural Center
Phoenix,
then you'll be able
We
to
come up.
find that. Very good. Are there going to be any other type of events since we have you on the air and you want to
Well-
promote a couple of others?
Well, yes. In the McClellan Library, we are extensively into the genealogy area.
Great.
And just this past Saturday, we had Peggy McGee, and she's a genealogist, kind of explaining to people how to go about tracing their ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
And in the future, we are going to be having some more of them. But we do have a genealogist on staff at the library. And if anybody is interested, they can either come in or call ahead of time and make an appointment. And she'll be able to take them places that they never knew existed, as far as all of the different veins of information that are out there that people are not even aware exists. And with DNA and all, it's amazing what you can find out of who you're actually related to.
It's really true. Not that I'm not going to say one way or the other what my feelings are about this, but we found out that we're related to Al Gore. So maybe I, in some weird way, helped create the internet before the social media.
Well, but anyway, if anybody's looking for a nice New Year's Eve, the Phoenix Friends of Traditional Music and Dance, they're going to be doing a contra dance. They normally do the fourth Friday of every month, but they're going to be doing a contra dance this Friday. They always call it the Burn Calories Dance, the day after Thanksgiving.
Sure.
And they're also going to be doing one on New Year's Eve. So if you're looking for a nice place to go that is not too loud or quiet and get a chance to hear some good music and to be doing some nice dancing, which also is not 2 foot in the air, by all means come down on New Year's Eve. We would love to have you down.
And you'd be amazing. For all of you parents out there, I'm going to share a little experience. I was each Saturday I take my children out to do something, and normally they get to choose, and it's based on how well they do in getting their homework done and their chores done, and the person who wins the contest gets to choose what we do on that Saturday night. However, if Dad does a better job on his homework, because I have assignments as well, on my homework and my chores, then I win the contest. So, and normally we go run the mountain, something that's really good for us, you know. And but we came down off the mountain one evening, and we saw a billboard that said that there was a Greek festival going on. And so I said, boys, we have now officially decided that we're going to go to the Greek festival. And they were whining and not happy. They're like, oh my gosh, this is a punishment because we didn't do our chores like we should have, and you did. And there was a lot of whining. And I said, hey, I'll make you a deal. If you're not happy with it within 30 minutes, then we'll go. But the only way that you can go inside of that 30 minutes, you have to eat the food and you have to participate in the dancing. And they're like, oh, that's even worse. Let me jump out of the car right now. I'm gonna hit the ground and rolling, and all these threats, and so they groaned their way all the way in. And when we first of all, they ate the food. It was great. And then they tried to get out of the dancing, and I took them to the side, showed them how to do a little bit of the dancing, because if you ever know anything about Greek dancing, it's a community dance, and it's a similar thing with the Irish.
Very similar, yes.
You bet. And so this is why I'm telling the story, because it's so similar. And by the time we were done, our kids did not want to leave. They had so much fun there. So don't be afraid to bring your kids down there with you, your children, and have a great experience learning the Irish dance and just having a really good time during this Thanksgiving time, this Friday night.
This is the contra dance, and it is all ages, all abilities, and it's a lot of fun. And contra dance basically took Irish and English and Scottish and French quadrangles, and when they all came to this country, they kind of mushed it all together.
Okay.
And so it's something similar to square dancing, line dancing, ceilidh dancing. It's like a little bit of everything.
Well, that
but
sounds
it's a lot of fun.
Great.
And it's very similar music to what the Irish music would be that we would have at our ceilidh. So it's just a great night, and that is alcohol free. So if you want to drink,
that's for children friendly.
Very much so. But it's a lot of fun.
Okay, that's great. So we have about 4 minutes left, and then when we come back from break, we're going to be talking about Orange Theory and my experience there. But Mary, I'm going to give you about 4 minutes because if you can't tell, I all but worship the center out there. It's just so beautiful and fun and wonderful. And when I say it's a magical era, I mean, it really is. I'm going to share one other experience. I'm just going to turn the time over to you to spend the rest of the time. When I was 14, my father, my brother, and I went hiking on the Grand Canyon, and we did a rim to rim to rim in 3 days. So it was over 50 miles in 3 days. There was blizzard on both sides of each rim, and it was quite the experience. My father hiked about 30 miles on two sprained ankles because he sprained them going in, and it just was definitely one of those survival experiences. But on the way down, on the way down the North Rim, there was a mystique and a magic that was unbelievable. It was twilight, and the storm had come in, and it was extremely dangerous. However, because it was like 400-foot drop-offs, and but it was the most beautiful experience I'd had because it just felt Celtic. So now, when you are in Phoenix, and there's just, you never know, right on top of the freeway tunnel, where all the hustle and bustle, and there's really not much magic with all the horns blowing underneath in that tunnel, you wouldn't think that life could get very magical, but you turn off of Central into that little area, and all of a sudden you have that Grand Canyon experience of, and even though they don't import the clouds and they have all this mist, it all but does have that same feeling.
Well, it did have mist last weekend.
There we go. You know what? You're quite right about that.
For our genealogy thing, we were going to put tables outside, and at the last minute it was like, no, I don't think this is going to work.
And that's a magic of its own, finding out your roots and how you're connected.
Very much so.
Yeah,
and it's amazing that since the movie Roots had come out, how many people are very interested in finding out where did they come from.
Yeah.
And given the amount of people that they say there's about 70 million people in the United States that claim Irish ancestry.
Oh my goodness.
We're
almost
kind
a
of
third.
one of the top groups as far as people who have come over to this country, you know, given the fact that Ireland itself is only a very small little country.
Right.
The old joke is that Ireland's biggest export is people. And that would be true.
I grew up in a small town, and that's essentially everybody has 8 kids, and none of them moved back. So we have a similar issue in our hometown.
But we're very fortunate that we've got a lot of great groups. We have the Friends of St. Patrick, because the St. Patrick Center in Downpatrick, they're going to be having a meeting at our place on December 16th. And they're a great group, and they do things such as food drives and volunteer at that type of thing, basically working in the spirit of St. Patrick. In January, you know, our group Croft, they do the older crafts. They're going to be doing their 12th night. We're going to be having a band from Ireland in February called Full Set, which does phenomenally great music. We're also going to be doing our 2nd annual Smiling Irishman event on February 8th.
Okay.
It was an event started by the United Phoenix Firefighters Emerald Society.
Oh.
And basically it's the male version of our Arizona Colleen and Rose of Tralee.
Okay.
It gives the men a chance to get out there and kind of show their stuff. And it's a great night, and it is a fundraiser for the center, and we're hoping that some of the Irish pubs will nominate their person, and it's Chicago-style voting, so therefore whoever wins is the one who brings in the most money.
Okay.
And they have to do a talent, and they also have to answer some Irish trivia question, and they also have to do a blindfolded Irish whiskey tasting and see if they can pick which type of the 3 whiskeys is what.
Okay, that would take a
So-
connoisseur.
And then it kind of brings us up towards St. Patrick's Day. On March 15th, we'll be doing our 31st annual St. Patrick's Day Parade and Fair.
Great.
We march down 3rd Street from Sheridan to the park,
Mhm.
and then we fence in the whole west side of the park for the fair. And we have music and dancing and crafters and a kids area and food and liquid libation, of course.
Uh-huh.
And then on St. Patrick's Day, we're going to be open again. And Patricia Pryor, Sean's wife, who is our past president and one of our founders, who's from County Waterford, she's got the reins for planning that day. So I'm sure it's going to be a great day as well, actually, on the day. The parade and fair are always the Saturday before. But we welcome everybody. You don't have to be Irish to enjoy our facility. We have a lot of great events, and we do rent the facility for weddings and meetings, and people seem to like it. So
Absolutely. If you're looking for a good venue, I would definitely recommend that. And also, since I didn't share with you that one of the other reasons I've been wanting to meet with you is that one of the guests on our show about 8 months ago is called Trusted Team. They're a social media program that they actually don't like it when I call them social media, but that's what they are. Sorry, Brandon at Trusted Team, you are a social media product. It's like a LinkedIn, but it is and just like LinkedIn, it's free to join, but you have to pay for the upgrades. So one of the things that I would love to sit down with you at a later time, where I'm actually going to get the upgrades donated, which is about a $54,000 value. So we're going to get that donated to you, and essentially what it is it turns it into a fundraising mechanism for you to create a trusted team of all of those private donors to be able to get credit for what they do, and then they all refer business to each other. So essentially it's a big referral network that's set up both, and so nonprofits use it for fundraising and for-profits use it to be able to refer business back and forth. Okay, so it all works together nicely. So for those of you who are not familiar with Trusted Team, you can go look at my Trusted Team at bizgrowth, bizgrowth.trustedteam.com. And if you want to not have to see just me, if you want to do a /start on it, then there will be the actual, there's videos that the creator of the product will explain how Trusted Team works. And then you can get into, back into my site and kind of see how a practitioner utilizes that. But we're going to essentially set that up. It's something that I have to pay for, something that I can get donated for you. So it's all good. So
Nice.
thank you, Mary, for coming on the show. And
Thank you for having me.
we'll meet another time, talk more about that.
No more stalking.
And no more stalking. You know, the stalking's over when you finally meet. It's great. But thank you again, Mary. And again, all the contact information, we'll give you a chance to share that with you, and then we'll end this little segment.
Okay, it's the Irish Cultural Center in McClellan Library. We're located at 1106 North Central Avenue, the west side of Central, between McDowell and Roosevelt. The phone number is 602-258-0109, and the direct line to the library is 602-864-2351. And we'd love to see you all down there.
Absolutely, and I'll be probably hanging out there quite a bit too. So if you come down, check us out on YouTube. This will be on YouTube as well. So then that way you know what Mary looks like and what I look like, and come on down there and meet us. Thanks for tuning into the Social Universe. This is Wilhelm, the host of the Social Universe here on Voice America. Don't go away. When we come back, we'll be talking about how I lost 10 pounds in 1 week at Orange Theory. So we'll be right back.